Welcome back as we continue our video series to help us get ready for the midterm exam. We're going to move into the problems from Unit 2. So with no further ado, let me get to the visualizer here and we'll try to share some things. Whoops, wrong screen. Let's try this again. There we go. So on the document camera, you can see that we've got solutions shaping up for Unit 2. A lot of work dealing with percents as we relate to Unit 2. From the textbook, your author was P for portion, B for base, and R for rate. So I stuck with that form, although if you wanted to use proportions, that's certainly a viable option as well. It can be your choice. All right, in terms of setting up problem 6, looks like we're being asked to find out what number the base is, knowing that if we take 40% of it, we will arrive at 20. So the 20 goes in as portion. Your unknown is the base. I called it X. And the rate given, it's 40%, 0.40. It's a straight into an algebra equation. So it's a clean divide by 0.40, and you have solved for X. And you find that in this case, the base would be 50. So it is in fact true that 40% of 50 would get us a result of 20. Problem 7, all it's going to change is what your unknown happens to be. In this case, it looks like it's the percentage or the rate. 60 plays the role of portion or part. 150 plays the role of base, and you and I are finding out what percentage of 150 60 is. Again, straight into an algebra equation, divide both sides by 150, grab your trusty calculator, and you realize that 60 divided by 150 is 0.40. So the correct answer for problem 7 sets in at 40%. Problem 7 done and good to go. Problem 8, continuing our work on parts, bases, and rates. So what we've got in this problem is the notion of finding out what 180% of some number is. Again, be careful of that 180%. It's 1.80 as a decimal number. Your base is the 300. We shouldn't be alarmed that the answer that we're getting is larger than 300, because any percentage above 100% of a number will be larger than that given number. So again, straight calculator run 300 times 1.8. We realize that 180% of 300 would be 540. Problem 9, which is going to be our wrap up. So I'm sorry, we have 10 to go. So problem 9, basically we're going to buy some new tires. And the problem states that if we buy these new tires, it will increase our MPGs, our gas mileage, by 8%. So I chose to go it in one shot. So I took the original gas mileage, think of that as 100% of what it was. We're going to increase by 8%. So we would be then at 108% of what we used to get in terms of MPGs. So that's the rationale for the 1.08, 108% of the original MPGs, which were given at 24. And if we do that arithmetic with a calculator, you're going to realize that 25.92 would be the new gas mileage based on the purchase of the new tires. Might have approached it differently if they asked how much was the increase. We certainly could get it here. If we took our 25.92 and subtracted 24, we would realize what the increase in was for the miles per gallon as a result of the purchase of the new tires. I chose to just go right after what would be the increase of 8% on top of 100%. So that's the 1.08 coming at you on problem 9. I'm going to switch out solutions and get you a look at the last problem as it relates to Unit 2. And here comes problem 10, where it looks like we're doing a percentage increase. We have some antiques, I believe it was, that are being raised in price from $600 to $800. First challenge is to find out the amount of the change. So that's an increase of $200. Quick subtract gets us that. Remember, when you're doing percentage, either increase or decrease, you're going to take the actual amount of change, thus the 200, and you divide by the base number before the change took place. In this case, that's the 600 because we were raising the price. So it's 200 over 600. Grab your trusty calculator to 0.3 rep a 10. To the nearest tenth, 33.3%. If you're not a fan of, if you're not afraid of fractions, you could list it at 33 1/3%. That would be exact. I certainly would mark that correct as well. So remember, when you're doing percentage increase or decrease, it's the amount of change divided by the number before the change took place, whether that was an increase or a decrease. In this case, my base number was the 600, reflecting what the price was before it went up to 800. And that, my friends, wraps the solutions for Unit 2. I'll be back shortly with solutions to help us on Unit 3. See you then.